this community had to benefit me too. And I think that's a really important part that no one who owns a community membership talks about. This community has to fuel me too, creatively, energetically, mentally, not just financially, right? If I built something that drained me, I knew it wouldn't last.
Welcome to The Creative Bodega, a podcast about content marketing, Instagram growth, and personal branding for female service-based solopreneurs who want to grow their business without letting it take over their lives. I'm your host, Em Connors, and each week I'll share actionable tips, expert advice, and unfiltered truths to help you create engaging content, connect authentically with your audience, and turn followers into loyal customers, all without the burnout. If you're ready to simplify your content creation, navigate the ever-changing trends, and build a business that works for you while staying sane in this crazy season of life, then you're in the right place.
Hello, my friends. Today, we're diving into something I care so deeply about because I've seen it help so many women create real momentum without burning themselves out. And that is running a membership community that is sustainable for you and your people. Okay. So if you've ever asked yourself, should I start a community? Should I start a paid membership? How do I keep people engaged? What does it take to actually run a membership without being on 24/7? This episode is for you. It is something that a lot of you have come to me about. A lot of people inside my membership, the Content Coven, talk about, ask about, should I? It's really like a should I? And honestly, good for you for not rushing into it because that's honestly how I felt. Should I? And I will tell you how I sort of came to the realization that I was ready because I wasn't ready for a very long time. So a member inside the Coven recently sent me a post through DMs, which I love when people do that. They see something, they think of me, they think I should see it, they think I would find it interesting. And the headline was, "Influencers are out, communities are in." And honestly, I get that. We are craving connection. And I talked about that in my podcast a couple weeks ago, actually. I'll link that in the show notes where I talked about how, the perfect everything is out. The whole full-on expert vibe doesn't feel trustworthy anymore. People want real. They want you to be real. They want you to be honest. And everyone's craving that connection to even the leaders, even someone they feel that's an expert, they want to feel connected to them because if you're kind of too far away from where your ideal client is now, it feels unrelatable, to be honest. And I think people are just tired of being talked at. But here's the truth that I don't think enough people are talking about. Your membership or your community, whatever you want to call it, and these are paid. I'm talking paid. I'm not talking free. I would, I was going to say I would never have a free community because I wouldn't, but then I kind of laughed because honestly, my Instagram, I consider that my free community. My Instagram does feel like a community and it's free, but I would personally never run a free community inside Facebook or anything because that's just, it's a lot of my time and I value my time and I would like to be paid for it, to be really honest. But here's what no one's telling you about paid communities. It's only going to last if it's built in a way that you can sustain. So many people that I know personally have closed their memberships. I mean, so many. I could list off 5 names right now of people that I have seen start a community and then suddenly it's gone. And listen, no shame to anyone who that happened to. I can 1,000,000% see how that would happen because it's a lot. It really is a lot to take on. But let me tell you how mine started. Every time I ran my signature live program, the Visual Edit, which used to be called the Instacanva Collective, there was a community aspect. So community was open for the whole time the live program was open. That's where you would post your questions, post your, the work that you did for feedback and all of that. And it was so active, right? And the program would end after 8, 10 weeks, and people would beg me to keep the group open. They would say, "Oh, you don't even have to be a part of it. Like, I just, the women inside this group, I just really come to rely on their feedback." And like, here's the thing. Like, to pat myself on the back a little bit, like, I do attract incredible women who are driven, creative, helpful, and I get it. They all wanted to keep being around each other, but I couldn't do that. I couldn't just leave the community open and not worry about it, right? Like, not be a part of it. I knew that that wouldn't be possible for me because I'd want to chime in. And then once again, here I am, like, running this container and providing free value and maybe not getting paid at that point. So it just wasn't, I just would say, I'm so sorry, but not right now for me, right? And this was in my first 3 years of business. So they love the connection, they love the creativity and the accountability and the conversation, but I knew that I couldn't keep giving without a structure that protected my time and energy at that point in my life and in my business. I couldn't run like an infinite group chat, right? So finally, after round 4 of my signature program, I loved that group so much. I honestly was feeling that I didn't want it to end. I didn't want the community to close. And so I decided to pitch the idea to beta test a small paid community with alumni of my signature program only. So I opened it to that round 4 of women. And then I emailed the past 3 rounds of alumni and said, "Hey, remember what it felt like to be in this community? I'm going to open this up to you only for now. And let's try it. I'm open to your feedback. I'm really open to building this together." And that little beta group became the Content Coven. Okay. Fast forward a year, I launched it to my full email list. And that time was very important to me. I wasn't ready to open it to my full list. I knew these women, they knew me, they knew what to expect. I knew I could rely on their feedback. I just needed to start small, get my feet wet. How often am I having calls? What does that feel like? What am I delivering every month? What does that feel like? So a year later, I launched it to my full email list and 406 people joined in 2 weeks. Okay. So exciting. I remember telling my current Coven women at that time, my beta group, I would love 100. I'd love 100 people. That would feel really good. And 406 people joined. It was so exciting. Like, I can still remember the feeling I had over those 2 weeks. Oh my God. This is what a compliment that this many people trust me and want to hang out with me, right? But it was also absolutely terrifying because I never expected that many people. And then I was like, how am I going to manage this? But here's what I knew. This community had to benefit me too. And I think that's a really important part that like no one who owns a community membership talks about. This community has to fuel me too, creatively, energetically, mentally, not just financially, right? If I built something that drained me, I knew it wouldn't last. And just like many memberships I've seen start with a bang and then quietly disappear, I have a feeling that membership didn't benefit the person that was in charge of it or owned it, right? So I want to do a gut check with you. Like, here's some questions to ask yourself to figure out if you're ready to start a community. Some green flags, meaning green, go, right? You've got a clear path to a result, even if it's small, okay? A clear path to a result. So I have inside my membership a built-in curriculum called the Create, Connect, Convert method. It's basically a small online course, not even that small. It's 3 modules with about 10 lessons inside. And the whole path that I'm taking you on helps you create, connect, to convert online. Okay, that is the result. Another green flag, you can commit to some consistent cadence. Okay, so if you're struggling with just showing up consistently online or showing up consistently through an email each week or, bi-weekly or whatever, it's maybe not time for you. You need to work on your systems for those 2 things first because that's what's going to grow your community, to be really honest. You're okay with being a facilitator. So I love being a facilitator. I love kind of being at the head. I love chiming in. I love when people post questions in the membership. And I remember working with a business coach, and she was kind of like encouraging me to hire someone to basically answer everybody. And I was like that's actually what I love about. I like love teaching, so I love answering questions. So I'm cool being a facilitator. And last but not least, green flag, you have some support. So I do have a community manager who is also my VA, Nicole. A few hours a month, she is in there. She is helping me a lot. So some red flags, you need instant revenue. Like when people DM me and they're like, "Hello, Em, like I need to make money really fast in my business. What would you recommend I do?" I'm like, I'm not your girl. Like I've never been one to like promote, do this to make fast cash. Like, no. I actually really don't like talking about revenue very much or how to make money. So if you need instant money, it's sort of a complete red flag. You're kind of setting yourself up for failure. You struggle to set boundaries. Listen, I'm a people pleaser through and through. I hate confrontation and I want people to be happy. And if I feel like I've made someone unhappy, I'm losing a lot of sleep over that. But in this, I knew that I had to set boundaries and feel really good and clear about them and not waver. Because again, I burn out. This thing's going down, right? And yeah, I have 200 plus women in there right now that are relying on me, and I would never want to let them down. So, red flag number 3, you're not clear on what people actually get or achieve within this membership. You really need to nail that down and make it really, really clear. So, to keep the content coven thriving without burning out, for me, I focus on 4 core things. Okay. So, the clear path to the wins. So, we've got that 3-part curriculum, the Create, Connect, Convert. So, new members join and they know exactly where to start. Like, they don't come into this membership and they go to the feed and there's just all these posts and they don't know what to do, right? We have a very clear email workflow that starts being delivered to new members daily for the first week that they're there, saying, hey, why don't you go check this out? This is where I would start if you're feeling overwhelmed or don't know what to do. And a lot of women do it. And then we have 2 dedicated threads within the membership. One is called bio reviews and one is called content pillars. And those are the first 2 things I really encourage people to post your bio for feedback, post your content pillars. And this is after they're watching the lessons inside the curriculum on what my best practices are. So clear paths to wins. Okay. The next thing, a cadence that I can keep. Again, I'm not here to burn out. I really have nailed down a cadence that I feel like I can deliver monthly. So that is live workshops with me every other month. On the off months that I'm not doing it, I have guest speakers. I started out by doing monthly workshops and I started resenting it so much. It felt like I'd finish one and I already had to start prepping for the next. And I remember like my business coach and even members saying, it doesn't have to be that big. You don't have to make it like a big deal. But I do. I can't not. Like everything I do to my best ability. And I can't just throw a workshop together. It doesn't work for me. So I let people know, listen, I'm going to be doing one every other month. You can always go back and watch the replays. Every single workshop I've ever done is inside our vault, right? So that's where all the call recordings are. So go back and watch ones that you need help with right now, but I can't do this every month. So alternating me and a guest speaker. And I love the guest speakers. A lot of the guest experts that come in on the off months are members inside the community. Like I tap into them because, number one, I want to help promote them and their business. But number 2, I've got so many smart, incredible women in this group. Why would I not tap into them, right? And then I have weekly Q&As. There's really no structure to these. I used to try to structure every call. Like this call, we're doing this. This call, we're doing this. And I was like, and a member told me like, it'd be really nice if we just had like a Q&A where we just show up and talk. We talk about what's going on in our businesses. We talk about what's going on social media right now. We ask you questions about X, Y, and Z. And I was like, like an unstructured call. How novel. But I started doing it and I love it. And it's some of the best calls we've had. I've had women get off these calls and be like, that was the best call we've ever had. And I'm like, really? Because there was like, I don't know, just unstructured and willy-nilly a little bit, but the conversation is really high level and I think you'd walk away with a lot. And then we have these monthly themed challenges. So this has evolved over time for sure, but these are optional challenges that people can jump in. They are very structured. We have a whole like, here's what we want you to do. Here's the goal. Here are all these resources. Let's go. Right. And it really helps people with accountability and just, keeping up with working on their business and also stepping out of their comfort zone. And then, so that was two, like finding a cadence I can keep. Okay. So live workshops every other month, guest speakers on the off months, weekly Q&As, monthly themed challenges. And then co-creation, right? So I'm always asking my members for input. Like I am putting polls. I love the platform that I'm on. It's called Heartbeat. It's so amazing. And I'm always putting polls in it. Guys, what should I name this next workshop? What are you looking to learn from a guest speaker? Are you seeing this trend? Is it something you're jumping on? Like from workshop topics to challenge ideas, this space is theirs too, not just mine. Okay. And the last one is boundaries that protect my energy. So I don't respond 24/7. I let people know this is a community-led space, not Emily-led. This is all of us working together. Okay. So while in a live program of mine, I do pretty much guarantee a response within 24 hours, the community is not that. Okay. And if you want that high touch and you want my eyes and feedback on everything you're doing, that's what my live programs are for. This is not that. Okay. This is a back pocket resource. And, that really protects my energy. And I really set them up for success by explaining that in their welcome emails as well as on my sales page. I take weeks off. In the summer, my vacation week, I don't do a call. Between Christmas and New Year's, I don't do a call. Okay. And those are my dark weeks. And people, oh my God, the women in my membership are so amazing. They're like, they love it. They're like, yes, Em, you take off. And I'm like, really? Because I feel like I'm letting you down, or you're like not getting what you pay for. And they're like, no. Like, you need to recharge. We need to recharge. Go take your time with your family. And God bless them, honestly. They're just like the best people ever. Okay, so if you're like, if this sounds interesting to you, if you're dreaming of maybe starting a community, it's something you've been thinking about, or if you've started one and it's feeling a bit heavy, I hope this gives you permission to build something that really fits your unique rhythm. And if your community requires a version of you that only exists on launch week, like that crazy high energy, it's probably not going to last. That's just not sustainable. But if you build it with clarity, with connection in mind, and with really strong boundaries, I really do think you can create something magical and beautiful that can last a really long time and help a lot of people. So if you want to stalk how my membership runs, guess what? You can check out the Content Coven. It is open 24/7, and I would love to have you inside. The link is in the show notes, as always. And until next time, start small, publish some boundaries, and really focus on building a community that you can actually keep showing up for. You've got this. I will see you on the next episode.
Thanks so much for hanging out with me on the Creative Bodega podcast. If you love this episode, please be sure to share it with a fellow solopreneur who could use a little content creation inspiration. And hey, don't forget to check out the show notes for any resources I mentioned on the episode to help you create content that feels easy and actually gets you results. If you want even more Canva and content tips, head over to my website, thecreativebodega.com, or find me on Instagram under the same name. Until next time, keep creating, keep showing up, and most importantly, try and have a little fun with your content. I'll see you on the next episode.